Greetings and welcome to Glasson on this crisp spring morning. Ahead of us, you can see probably the smallest lighthouse ever built. It was built in 1836 to guide ships into the docks. The docks having been built about 1790, so that ships didn't need to travel up the River Lune to Lancaster. So if we have a look around Glasson, you've got one pub left, that's the Dalton Arms. The Lancaster Smokehouse, very good for pork scratchings there. A shop which used to be called The Shop, but it's changed its name recently. I don't know what it's changed it to. And the cafe, which is called the Quayside. That's about all you've got in Glasson at the moment. You've got the marina there, and here you've got the Lockkeeper's Rest. A little cafe, very good for bikers. You get a lot of bikers there. That's more motorbike riders than penny-farthing riders. Anyway, so let's have a look at today's route. So today's ride will start near the Bay Cycleway sign at Glasson before joining the disused railway line to Lancaster, over the Millennium Bridge and then along another disused railway line before heading back south alongside the River Lune to the Golden Ball at Snatchems. So let's get that high wheeler rolling. So as we set off from Glasson, this is also one end of the Bay Cycleway, which is a guided cycleway all the way around to Barrow. I do intend to try and do that one, well, over a few days. I don't think I'll do it in a day. It's about 80 miles. So at least we got through the traffic lights on green and over the little swing bridge. Ahead of us you've got what used to be another pub in Glasson, but it's been closed for quite a few years. And on the right hand side you've got the marina, which is the end of the Glasson branch of the Lancaster Canal. And coming up on the left hand side we're looking for the path onto the old branch line. Here it is, so up a little slight incline and we're onto the old branch line. As we look up the River Lune towards Lancaster, it's a nice view, but it's also telling me that the tide is rather high, and that is one thing I'll be careful of, because when we get to the Golden Ball at the other end, if the tide is too high we can't get to the pub. So well, hopefully it won't be too high when we get there. Anyway, the branch line I'm on, the quay was connected to Lancaster in about 1883 by this branch line, and it actually carried passengers till about 1930 and continued carrying goods till September 1964. The first station on it, Glasson Station, is coming up here. It used to be on the right hand side about here. So as you were waiting for the train to take you to Lancaster, that was the kind of view you got up the River Lune. Like I said, nice view. So that was the branch line. If we the marina at the end of the Glasson branch of the Lancaster Canal, well, the canal was opened in 1826, so that goods could travel by barge to Goldgate, and then joining the main Lancaster Canal could either go north up to Lancaster or south to Preston. I hope the bargemen knew which was north and south. But this is the old branch line. So the first station was at Glasson, and coming up here, if you look over slightly to the left, you can see the viaduct we've got to go over, and where the white building is in the distance, that was roughly where the next station was. So I really do enjoy this ride. It's nice views up the River Lune, and here you've got some of the old railway lines just on the bridge as we go over. Be careful of the dogs running across, but I will speed this up or cut bits out later on, because Like I say, it is a nice ride, but it does get a bit monotonous when you're looking at the same things over and over again. So we're coming over the viaduct. And now we've got where the Calder's Green station used to be. There's nothing left of it. As we go into the car park here, this is roughly where the platforms were, but again, nothing left. You can't make out where exactly the platforms were, or even how high they were. So if we carry on, a nice summer's day, but as I say, it is a bit crisp and chilly around the hands at the moment. So if we kind of look back down the River Lune towards where we've come from, Glasson Docks, and on the right hand side you can actually see Sunderland Point. That's another place I wouldn't mind visiting. Again, you've got to be careful of the tides, otherwise you get stuck, and there's no pubs at Sunderland Point to get stuck at. Okay. So as I carry along the River Lune, I did mention that there was one station down at Glasson and then there was another at Calder's Green. There was actually a third station along the way, and that was at Ashton Hall Holt. It was more of a private station for the owner of the Ashton Hall, and this is one of the few places where there is still part of the platform. You can see it's buried in the undergrowth, so you've got to go digging in to kind of find it. And this is roughly where the hole was. I'll put a couple of photographs on of the buildings near the road later on, but I know there's a black and white one which shows coming up to the station, and the actual colour one showing the railway line looking back south towards Glasson Docks area. Yep. As I've said before, this route from Glasson to Lancaster is a nice cycle or even a walk, and if you are planning on walking it, about halfway between Glasson Docks and Lancaster there is a nice little picnic area just coming up here on the left, where you can sit down and rest and have a look up and down the Lune. A nice scenery. Well, we've still got about 3 miles to get to Lancaster, so let's up the pace a bit and get moving. Well, this is where we leave the branch line. The branch line will carry on parallel with us for a few hundred yards before then heading off towards the right and then circling round and going into what used to be Lancaster Castle station. It's now just Lancaster station, but we'll carry along on the old farm track, and this should take us to the St George's Quay in Lancaster. So here we are, we're at the St George's Quay. The buildings on the right used to be warehouses, which were demolished and then they built posh apartments. although the one almost directly ahead what we're just going to pass is actually students' accommodations. But, and you can also see just ahead Carlisle Bridge. Built in 1847, there's a train going over. Built in 1847, it's actually got a footpath on one side, and again, if you go up the steps, you can have some great views either up or down the River Lune. These are the students' accommodations on the right hand side here. Try and keep quiet not to wake them up. It is early in the morning, well it is for them. So as we come up to the Carlisle Bridge, normally I would take the low path along the River Lune, but I want to show you a couple of buildings, so we'll take the high road and dodge the traffic along here. First building I want to show you is, well, it was the Custom House. It's now a Lancaster Maritime Museum. The Custom House was built in 1764 and was designed by Richard Gillor, who was the son part of Robert Gillor and Son. They used to import mahogany wood from the Americas, turn it into furniture and send it back to the West Indies. That's the Maritime Museum, or the Custom House as it was. You can see in the distance as well on top of the hill, maybe you can't quite make it out, that's the Ashton Memorial, which was built by Lord Ashton in memory of his second wife Jessie. It cost about £87,000 in 1909. That would be closer to £11 million nowadays. I'll tell you a bit more about it in a bit, because we're just going to come over the Millennium Bridge. That was opened in 2001. And what I'll say is just listen to the sound of the water. Yeah, it used to scare me on the slats were going to move and we're going to slide all over the place. Yeah, on the right hand side as we come over the Millennium Bridge you catch a quick glimpse of the Graham Bridge. It was originally a timber bridge built in 1848 to carry the Morecambe Railway over the River Lune. In 1864 it was placed by wrought iron bridge, and then again in 1911 by the current bridge. You can still see parts of the 1864 wrought iron bridge further up the River Lune. I'll go past there one day, I'll show it to you. After closing the railway line, the bridge was converted in 1972 for use for road traffic. We're now on the old railway line, and if you look across you can see the Customs House in the distance, and there's Lancaster Parish Church, and we're setting off again down the what used to be electrified railway line heading towards Morecambe. We're not going to go far, we're going to turn off here on the left because that pub is calling. I did say I'd tell you a bit more about the Ashton Memorial. Like I said, it was built in 1909. The dome is covered in copper, so it gives it now the greenish appearance, and Portland stone was used for the main part, with Cornish granite used for the steps. It's got different reactions from people. Some describe it as England's greatest folly, whilst others call it the Taj Mahal of the North. Well, almost back to our finishing point, about half a mile to go as we loop down the River Lune. We've travelled up the other side of the River Lune, but come back down obviously on this side. Nice summer's day, the tide doesn't look too bad, so we should be able to get to the Golden Ball for a pint. Like I said, if the tide's in too high you can't get, the road is flooded. So up here we've got a little right turn. We should be able to see the Golden Ball very shortly. No, not behind us though, it's in front of us. Surprising what you do get floating down the river here, especially when there's like a bit of a flood tide. As I said, tight right turn up here, slow down for the bend, and we should be able to see the pub anytime now. There it is, the white building in the distance. Like I say, round this right hand bend, a bit of a low branch to watch out for in the corner. I noticed it this morning when I was coming past it. There it is, straight road up to the main road, turn left, down the hill, and we're there. Okay. Oops. Well, I didn't expect to see that at the end of the track. It's a matter of getting off and walking round it. We've not exactly left much room to cycle past. We'll go this way round. So back on the bike, it is downhill, nice steady slope all the way down. Up we get. And round the corner. The Golden Ball, I'll be doing a few rides from here, hopefully over the next few months. And I'll tell you a bit more about the history of the pub. It's about 300 years old. They call it Snatchems because the story goes that when the boats were leaving Lancaster, setting off around the world again, they'd stop here and the press gang would go in and snatch the people to crew the boats or crew the ships. And there it is, the Golden Ball. Tide's in, but it's not too bad. Like I say, it's good to go all the way across the road here. It can be about 3 foot deep at this place.